Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare. Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Yeah, you can start.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The screen is visible, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna, everyone. Therefore, by the process of self-realization or God realization, through fruitive activities, philosophical speculations, or mystic yoga, one cannot actually approach the supreme source of everything. When the creation is completely terminated, when there is no existence of the Vedas, no existence of material time, and no existence of the gross and subtle material elements, and when all the living entities are in the non manifested stage, resting within Narayana, then all these manufactured processes become null and void and cannot act. Devotional service, however, is eternally going on in the eternal spiritual world. Therefore, the only factual process of self realization or God realization is devotional service, and one who takes to this process takes to the real process of God realization. In this regard, Srila Sridhar Swami has composed a verse which conveys the idea that the supreme source of everything, the supreme personality of Godhead, is so great and unlimited that is not possible for the living entity to understand him by any material acquisition. One should therefore pray to the Lord to be engaged in his devotional service eternally, so that by the grace of the Lord one can understand the supreme source of creation. The supreme source of creation, the supreme Lord, reveals himself only to the devotees. In the fourth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says to Arjuna, "My dear Arjuna, because you are my devotee and because you are my intimate friend, I shall reveal to you the process of understanding me." In other words, the supreme source of creation, the supreme personality of Godhead, cannot be understood by our own endeavor. We have to please him with devotional services, and then he will reveal himself to us. Then we can understand him to some extent. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. Lakshmi Prasad Mataji, you can read two
Hare Krishna.
paras,
Only
Mataji.
thing
Hare
we should
Krishna.
ask. That's what all pure devotees also ask, is they are asking Lord for, seva. Because once you get service, we'll start slowly understanding Krishna. This is what he says to Arjuna also. Saye vaya maya tedya yoga prokta puratana bhaktosi me saka cheti rahasyam hetaduttamam. That means you're my bhakta, devotee, and saha, friend, right? So that is why he is revealing. Yeah, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
There are different kinds of philosophers who have tried to understand the supreme source by their mental speculation. There are generally 6 kinds of mental speculators whose speculations are called Sad Darshana. All these philosophers are impersonalists and are known as Mayavadis. Every one of them has tried to establish his own opinion, although they all have later compromised and stated that all opinions lead to the same goal and that every opinion is therefore valid. According to the prayers of the personified Vedas, however, none of them is valid because their process of knowledge is created within the temporary world. They have all missed the real point. The supreme personality of Godhead or the absolute truth can be understood only by devotional service. One class of philosophers known as Mimamsas, represented by sages such as Jaimini, have concluded that everyone should engage in pious activities or prescribed duties and that such activities will lead one to the highest perfection. But that is contradicted in the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna says that by pious activities one may be elevated to the heavenly planets, but that as soon as one's accumulation of pious activities is used up, one has to leave the enjoyment of the highest standard of material prosperity in the heavenly planets and immediately come down again to these lower planets where the duration of life is very short and where the standard of material happiness is of a lower grade. The exact words used in the Bhagavad Gita are Kshine Punni Martyalokam Vishanti. Therefore, the conclusion of the Mimamsa philosophers that pious activities will lead one to the absolute truth is not valid. Although a pure devotee is by nature inclined to perform pious activities, no one can attain the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by pious activities alone. Pious activities may purify one of the contamination caused by ignorance and passion, but this purification is automatically attained by a devotee constantly engaged in hearing the transcendental message of Godhead in the form of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, or similar scriptures. From the Bhagavad Gita, we understand that even a person who is not up to the standard of pious activities but who is absolutely engaged in devotional service is to be considered well situated on the path of spiritual perfection. It is also said in the Bhagavad Gita that a person who is engaged in devotional service with love and faith is guided from within by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The God Himself as Paramatma or the spiritual master sitting within one's heart gives the devotee exact directions by which he can gradually go back to Godhead. The conclusion of the Mimamsa philosophers is not actually the truth, which can lead one to real understanding. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So very quickly, whatever they are talking about God realization, people say that if you do pious activities, you will be realized, Krishna will take care of you. Krishna will anyways take care of you. But if you want to get the mercy of Krishna and go to Goloka, pious activities are not sufficient. Yes, if you want to go to heaven, pious activities are important. It can take you out of ignorance and all. But pious activities by itself is not going to take you to the abode of Krishna. So one classic example, we have to refer to Shastras, right? Why they're telling read Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is because they will give us clarity. We had this king and how many of you all know about King Nigari? Not Nigari, sorry, Nirga. So he had, he used to donate, especially on days like Ekadasi, so many cows, right? So when he donated so many cows, one particular Brahmana, like one single jewel cow, got mixed and it got lost, right? So he didn't know what to do. So he was very upset. He did not know what to do and he was searching. And there was another person also came with the same complaint. Both were fighting it is their cow. How it happened is he had donated one cow, but that cow again got lost and came back to the group of donatable cows, right? So he got confused and he donated. Now, what he did is he told that if you one of you will take the cow, the other person I will give 10,000 cows, jewel cows. What will we choose? If I'm given the offer, I'll take 10,000 cows. What will you all do? Hare Krishna. Right.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Any Mataji wants to read Mataji, or can I read Mataji?
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Mataji, I like to read.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, so what? So I was just talking, and they will take the 10,000 cows, right? But he refused. So because he refused, what happened is they both cursed the Brahmanas, and that Nirga actually became, a lizard. But the one pious activities which he did is earlier he had given some money for the contribution of a temple, because of which he turns out to be the lizard in the same well where Krishna's children, grandchildren are playing. And when they see the lizard, they go back to Krishna and Krishna comes and picks up the lizard and he becomes again the human and he finally finds his destination. Yes. So that's the point. Hare Krishna. Yeah, go ahead. So pious activities will not take you to Bhagwan. Only Bhagwan activities will take you to Bhagwan. Hare Krishna. Go ahead.
Ayushi Mataji is there.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, Mataji, I'm here.
Continue to Paras Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Similarly, there are Sankhya philosophers, metaphysics physicians, or materialistic scientists who study this cosmic manifestation by their invented scientific method and do not recognize the supreme authority of God as the creator of the cosmic manifestation. They wrongly conclude that the reaction of the material elements are the original cause of creation. The Bhagavad Gita, however, does not accept this theory. It is clearly said therein that behind the cosmic activity is the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This fact is corroborated by the Vedic injunction, Sadva Som Me Idam Agra Asit, which means that the origin of the creation existed before the cosmic manifestation. Therefore, the material element cannot be the cause of material creation. Although the material elements are accepted as immediate cause, the ultimate cause is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. The Bhagavad Gita says, therefore, that material nature works under the direction of Krishna. The conclusion of the atheistic Sankhya philosophy is that because the effects, the phenomena of this material world are temporary or illusory, the cause is therefore also illusory. The Sankhya philosophers are in favor of voidism, but the actual fact is that the original cause is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that this cosmic manifestation is a temporary manifestation of His material energy. When this temporary manifestation is annihilated, it causes the external existence of the spiritual world continues as it is, and therefore the spiritual world is called Sanatana Dhamma, the eternal abode. The conclusion of the Sankhya philosopher is therefore invalid. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
So very
Krishna,
clearly, the
Mataji.
material world, is temporary, but these cannot be created in any case by matter, because the material world, which is, it is actually, though it is here in the material world, matter is also an energy of Krishna, which is what Krishna is saying. And the spiritual world is completely Krishna's potency. So matter created life is not possible. When you're driving an helicopter or airplane or car, there is human intervention. Even in an automatic vehicle, right? It is not automatically driven. There is a human brain behind it, right? So that is what he is talking about. Yeah, go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna everyone. There are the philosophers headed by the Gautama and Kannada. They have minutely studied the cause and effect of the material elements and have ultimately come to the conclusion that atomic combination is the original cause of creation. At the present, the materialistic scientists follow in the footsteps of Gautama and Kannada, who propounded this theory called Paramanuvada. This theory, however, cannot be supported, for the original cause of everything is not inert atoms. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, as well as in the Vedas, wherein it is stated, Eko Narayana Asit. Only Narayana exists before the creation. Srimad Bhagavatam and the Vedanta Sutra also says that the original cause is sentient and both indirectly and directly consignate of everything within this creation. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavaha. I am the original cause of everything. And Matha sarvam pravartate.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarva pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddhabhava samanvitaha. Hare Krishna.
From me, everything comes into existence. Therefore, atoms may from the basic combinations of material existence. But these atoms are generated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, the philosophy of Gautama and Kannada cannot be supported. Similarly, impersonalists, headed by Astavakra and later by Shankaracharya, accept the impersonal Brahman effulgence as the cause of everything. According to their theory, the material manifestation is temporary and unreal, whereas the impersonal Brahman effulgence is reality. But this theory cannot be supported either, because the Lord Himself says in the Bhagavad Gita that the Brahman effulgence rests on his personality. It is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita that the Brahman effulgence is the personal bodily rays of Krishna. As such, impersonal Brahman cannot be the original cause of the cosmic manifestation. The original cause is the all perfect sainting personality of Godhead. Govinda Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So, Gautama and Kannada, right? These two are the
Yes, Mataji.
people who followed in the Paramavada. So what they were actually talking about is that they felt that matter from there only life came, and based on that only a lot of scientists are supporting. And these are not possible because there is no proof that life comes from matter, right? So automatically things coming and all is just not possible. So there should be, from only from life matter can come. From matter life cannot come, right? Hare Krishna. Yeah, go ahead, Mari.
Revati Mataji, you read one para. Sorry, Lakshmi Prasad Mataji, you read one para Mataji.
Hare Krishna
And
Mataji.
Ayush Mataji, you read one para Mataji.
Hare
Okay,
Yes,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Mataji, sure.
The most
Revati
dangerous
Mataji
period.
is there, Mataji.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm here.
Sorry, Mataji, you read two para Mataji. Sorry, Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you very much. The most dangerous theory of the impersonalist is that when God comes as an incarnation, he accepts the material body created by the three modes of material nature. The Mayavadi theory has been condemned by Lord Chaitanya as most offensive. He has said that anyone who accepts the transcendental body of the personality of Godhead to be made of material nature commits the greatest offense at the lotus feet of the Vishnu. Similarly, the Bhagavad Gita also states that when the personality of Godhead descends in a human form, only fools and rascals deride him. That actually occurred when the Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, and Lord Chaitanya moved within the human society as human beings. The personalist Veda condemned the impersonal conception of a gross misrepresentation in the Brahma Samhita, and the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is described as Ananta Chinmaya Rasa. The Supreme Personality of Godhead possesses a spiritual body, not a material body. He can enjoy anything through any part of his body, and therefore he is omnipotent. The limbs of a material body can perform only particular function. For example, the hands can hold but cannot see or hear. But because the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is made up of Ananta Chinmaya Rasa and the Satchidananda Vigraha, he can enjoy anything and do everything with any of his limbs. Acceptance of the spiritual body of the Lord as material is dictated by the tendency to equate the Supreme Personality of Godhead with the conditioned soul. The conditioned soul has a material body. Therefore, if God also has a material body, then the impersonalist theory that the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entities are one and the same can be very easily propagated. Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you very
Krishna.
much.
So we have read, right, everywhere. Thank you so much, Mataji, all of you all for reading so well. So we've read that the God body is Satchidananda body. There is no way it can be material, because if it is material, there's no difference, right? Our body is material. That is why Krishna very clearly says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tatvataha tatva deham punarjanma neti mameti sojuna. That means Janma, my body has always been transcendental, right? But you can't remember because you're having a material body, which is what makes it different. Which is why even in Brahma Samhita, Krishna says that you can eat with any part, not necessarily through mouth, right? But prasad is there. If Krishna eats through mouth, the prasad will get upset. So Krishna does not eat through mouth. So he eats through other parts. That is why he says Janma Karma. Sorry, that's why he says Angani Yasta Sakalendra Vritti Mantra. That means all the Angas can do multiple tasks, right? When we ourselves can do multitasking, for example, sometimes I talk to you, right? And you also do that. You talk to me, and then suddenly you check your mobile. Suddenly, somebody calls. So we as individual can do two, three tasks. Some people can't, but some people do. I'm not telling that's the right thing. So when we are able to do, why not Krishna, right? So with this note, I'll wind off and we will catch up again tomorrow. And how many paras are there, more, ma?
12 Mataji, 12 paragraph are there, Mataji, because it are,
Big paras.
yeah, Mataji, so it's.
Sure, no problem. Thank you so much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev vacha patitanam
Patitanam
pavanebho Vaishnavibhyo
Vaishnavibhyo
namo namah.
namo
Ananta Koti
namah.
Vaishnavi Jai Srila Prabhupada Jai.
Jai
Ramacharya
Srila
Maharaj Ki Jai.
Prabhupada
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.